Hey guys, today's question is count unguarded cells in the grid. In this question, we are given with two integers m and n defining the rows and columns of the grid. And we are also given two 2D integers, guards and walls, where guards I is row I and column I. Okay, and walls j is row j and column j. So it's a 2D vector defining positions of guards with their I and j coordinates, and a guard can see every cell in the four directions, uh, up, down, left and right, okay, north, east, south or west. And finally we have to return the number of unoccupied cells that are not guarded. For this example, if you see this example, this is a guard, this is a guard, this is a guard, so this guard can see till this point and till this point before this wall and till this point, and for this guard it is also till this point. Here there is a wall, so this guard cannot see at this point. This guard can see till this point, this point, this point, and there is a wall. And we can see the green cells are denoting that these walls are unoccupied and not guarded by cells. Okay, so we have to return the number of count that of the cells that are not guarded by guards. Okay, so in this case the output is 7. In this case there is only one guard and it is not watching any cell, as it is covered by walls in four directions. So these cells 1, 2, 3, 4 are unoccupied, so the output will be 4. So we simply have to return the count of the cells that are not guarded by the guards. Okay, now what will be our approach? First we will create this vector, okay, and we will fill the values of guards and walls. Okay, after that we can mark these cells which are guarded by the guards as 1 or 2, anything, taking integers, and after that the remaining values will be 0, which will be unguarded, and that those will be answer. Another thing is to optimize a little bit. This guard can see downwards, this guard can see here, okay, but this cell we have to check for both guards. Okay, but if there is a guard here and let's say there is another guard here, okay, if we are checking for this guard, we don't need to further go in the right direction by this point because this guard will check for this point. Okay, so to reduce some overlapping, we will check if the value is wall or guard, then we will not further go to rightward direction. Otherwise we will check all the four direction for every guard, the upward direction, this direction, left and down. Okay, so initially first create the vector, 2D vector to 2D grid, and so vector int, let's name it as v. Number of rows in is m and number of columns are n. So vector int, and initially all values are 0. Okay, let's mark on all values unguarded initially. Now we will first mark all values, we will mark the values of walls as 1 and the values at guards as 2. Okay, so first mark values of walls, so auto and x in walls, simply mark v of x of 0 is the row and x of 1 is the column. Okay, I missed a, okay, okay, x of 0 is wall, x of 1 is, x of 0 is row, x of 1 is column, and we'll mark it as 1. Okay, again for the guards array, so for auto and x in guards, v of x of 0 and x of 1, we will mark it as 2. Okay, for guards. Now we will go to every guard and we will check in the all four direction and mark those cells -1, okay, that are being guarded by guards. So we again have to go in this array, so auto and x in guards. Now first take the current row, which will be the first value of the array, so int row equals to x of 0 and column will be x of 1. Okay, Now we have to check for all the 4 directions. So let's start with the upward direction. So for we have to go in the all 4 direction and mark those cells guarded, which will be -1. And if you see any point where it is a wall or guard, then it will break out of the loop. Okay, so we will start from row -1 initially because we are at the row, and we will go till I greater than equals to 0, I minus minus. Now if the current value is 1 or 2, that means it is a wall or guard that we will break out. So if v of I colon double equals to 1 or v of I colon double equals to 2, then we will break out. Otherwise we will simply mark it as guarded, so we will mark it as -1. Okay, v of I colon equals to -1. Now let's copy this. Now we have to go from row +1 in the we are going in the downward direction, so I less than m and I plus plus, and these things will be same. V I colon double equals to 1 or 2, then it will break, otherwise we will say -1. Now let's go for the colons. So for int j equals to colon -1, j greater than equals to 0, j minus minus. The same condition, if there is a guard or wall, then it will break. So if v of row and j double equals to 1 or v of row j double equals to 2, then we will simply break out. Otherwise we will simply mark it as guarded. So v of row j equals to -1. Now let's copy this to go in the right direction. This was for the left direction. So from colon +1, j less than n, j plus plus, and this will be same. So after doing this all operations, all the red cells will be marked -1 and these green cells will be 0. So finally we have to just count the number of green cells and return it as answer. So to count it, let's take a variable initially at 0, sum equals 0, and now we will simply go from for int I, we will go to every cell and we will check whether it is marked or unmarked. So for int I equals to 0, I less than m, I plus plus, and now for int j equals to 0, j less than columns, which is n, j plus plus. If the current value is 0, that means it is green and not guarded, then we will simply increment the counter. So if v of ij double equals to 0, that means it is still unguarded, so simply increment the sum, and finally after this for loop we can return sum as an answer. So return sum. Let's try to run this. Okay, line 24. Let's run again and let's see if it runs, and let's submit the code. So the code is accepted. Thank you for watching.